Good morning, folks. Welcome on board another day of Building Evie. The sun is glorious. It's been glorious the past few days, hasn't it? Anyway, despite the few setbacks of the last couple of days, then I'm feeling pretty good. We're going to get on with the shelves in these wardrobes now. So that's what's the first plan, anyway. So naturally, I started the day by undoing the last thing that I did at the end of yesterday. This little fillet that I put in at the top, I realised that actually will be part of the shelf. So I quickly undid the screws that were holding it down, and then chiselled off what was there. Didn't need to tidy it up too much. It was actually quite okay. Can't remember what I was looking at there, but obviously something caught my eye. So I put this back together, and then got on with sorting out the bottom shelf. Now I decided to make templates for everything because nothing is square. I've learnt that even when I make things square, they are not square by the time that it actually comes around to doing the next thing that I would rely on being square. So template was the way to go, and that also gave me the opportunity to sort of put in spaces for the or cut out for the pipes. So one of my drill bits is broken, which is why I had to start with start with the smaller one before progressing to the larger one, and then just chop out the remainder. A little light sand around the edge, and seems to fit in quite well. Just need to sort out keeping it at a given height. But first things first, the next shelf up, that needs support. So I was, before making the base, then I thought I'd make the inside bit. I'm using bits of infill, or they're the same thickness as the shelves. So in order to get this at the same height as the door opens, then just using a piece to gauge what height they'll be. Anyway, another template, and well, most of them were pretty good, but some of them did need a little fettling. I won't show you all of the templates because it's all a repetitive process. This is me making some blocks for the bottom, simply because it's easier than doing anything else, and there's no need for it to be complicated. I need to take apart this wardrobe so that I could make a slot for the back of the Victron display unit. It doesn't have a single cable. Well, it does have a single cable that comes out, but it comes out at a weird angle, so ended up needing to make a slot. And then it was on to the making using my socket hole jig from days of yore that I fortunately hadn't destroyed yet. This is for what I call the emergency lights. There's one light switch at each end of the boat that just turns on a light in the middle of each of the each of the spaces. Then it was on to the 12-volt system. The 24-volt system is the black box that you can see up to the right. This is the 12-volt system. Things like my communications, so my modem and stuff like that. And there's a 12-volt for one of the toilets, I think. And I've put in a 12-volt for something else that I don't think I'm actually going to use initially, but and it will also do the actuators for my solar stuff that we haven't got to yet. Exciting times to come. When I first put this on, then the 12-volt fuse system, then I realised I put it on the wrong way up, which is what you saw me turning it upside down for. And just as I was when I came to wiring this up, then I realised that the crimps on the end were really quite difficult to use with their insulation on them. So I ended up just cutting that off, and then putting on some heat shrink. It was just a way that I could get a better crimp on them. So that was what I did. You've seen me doing lots of cutting of cables and stuff before, so chuck that out, but keeping it neat and tidy as before. The top of the wardrobe, I realized that if I cut it to width, the early doors, then that would be easier than trying to figure out what width to cut it once I'd put the front on. Working in this space was very difficult, so you haven't seen me pipe up the plumbing into the radiator. But this is the matrix that'll this is sort of a boost, I call it, for if it's very cold and I need to get it warm quite quickly, then that little fan matrix thing is part of the main loop for the bedroom. But I can obviously turn the fans on and it should kick out lots of heat. So in the bottom of this cupboard, then that's where the matrix is. You notice there isn't a grill in front of it yet. I will put a grill in front of it, but just not quite at the moment because I don't have it. And whilst I have the measurements for it, I don't trust the measurements until I've actually got it. So anyway, I needed to wire up these two that were obviously I could put in place now that all the holes were there for them. And yeah, well, this slot wasn't in quite the right place. That wasn't a chisel, that was a fancily dressed screwdriver. Anyway, I got a sharp one. So that was all done. As you can see, the matrix is underneath there. Again, putting this in at shopping basket height. These are all the supports for the shelves. Chisel off the back of them just to make sure they seat easily. And again, very difficult to show you what's going on in this cupboard, but I will do so in a minute. To get the heights right, then I prefer using spaces rather than measuring, and so then I can feel that it's the right height. And so just one shelf at a time, basically, and just work my way up and get them all in, and that's all of them in, and the last one over underneath here. So that's it. I'm not exactly sure what heights these will end up. So for the moment, then they are one shopping bag height. That's part of the reason they're on these posts instead of actually mounted to anything solid. Over here, then I've made a mistake here. This is too high, but it was restricted by over there some of the wall support. So nothing I could do about that. Looking good, looking like wardrobes, so that's cool. I will get on to, they need to be hard waxed, so I'll be taking them out tomorrow and doing that. Good night, everybody.